Now, there's one thing that I have to talk about, guys. I cannot stop thinking about X-Men 97. After the season finale, it's still the one show that is stuck in my mind. It's like, it's Inception. Somebody planted an idea there and it's not going away. It has grown organically and I have to talk about it, guys. Episode 10 is one of the best season finales that I've ever watched for any TV show since watching television. And that is insane. This is coming from an animated TV show, which, I don't know, guys. I wasn't expecting the show to reach such incredible heights. It managed to exceed all my expectations and go beyond that. Look, I'm a massive X-Men fan. I absolutely love X-Men. I've always loved X-Men over the years. And if I'm being honest, the last good X-Men content material, the movie that we got, was Logan. And Logan came out back in 2017. So since then, I'm not even going to talk about Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix was... Look, guys, Dark Phoenix was horrible. So it's Logan. That was the last thing. And after that, we've been starved, man. Folks have been starving for some good X-Men content. And when this was announced, everybody was like, they're going to mess this up. That was my same reaction. I was convinced that they're going to screw this up. They shouldn't be doing this. They should stay away from this. This is a mistake, especially with the recent track record that Marvel has been having. So I didn't expect it. I didn't expect anything good from this. And that's just me being honest. But to push X-Men back to the forefront in this manner has just been a monumental achievement for Marvel. This is the best thing Marvel has done in a very long time. I made a video previously which I said this was the best since Endgame. I think this might be even better than Endgame. This is on that level. This is not only just one of the best animated TV shows of the year. It's one of the best shows in the last decade. And a lot of people would agree with me when I make that statement. I'm not even lying, guys. It's that good. If you have been sleeping on this, please get out under that rock and watch this immediately. You won't be disappointed. Even if you're not a fan of the original, even if you haven't watched the original, just go and watch this. You will be blown away. 97 somehow managed to do the unthinkable. When I first saw it, I was like, this is a nostalgic cash grab, trying to bring back an older audience. A week before the show's release, we saw the firing of Beau DeMayo, which was puzzling. Already there was another red flag. I was like, oh man, here we go. This is gonna be a mess. The internet is gonna eat this up for breakfast. But when episode 1 dropped, to me, my X-Men, oh man, I just felt like a kid again. I just felt like, you know what, I'm just gonna get a massive box of cereal, get the cereal bowl out, a lot of milk, and Saturday mornings are back, man. Saturday mornings are back in a massive way, and that's how I felt. It captured that perfectly. I feel like the creators understood the task. They knew exactly what they were doing, and if you get people on board that love the material, it's just going to be amazing because, you have people sitting around discussing how can we make this thing great, and it will just work. And that's what this show is. This is the essence of getting people together that love something and they create something that comes from a pure place. There's nothing behind it. There's no agenda. It's just great material by people that love it. And that in itself for me is an amazing achievement. So basically the show continues directly after the original, and it deals with the death of Charles Xavier and how the group deals with the death of Charles Xavier. I didn't know what angle that we're gonna go with, and that is a surprise package. The whole transition from that finale back in '97 over into this, it just feels so organic. It feels natural. It feels like bridging a massive amount of years and just getting back to the point where it just feels seamless. And that's why it's so fantastic, because at no point when you're watching this you're like, maybe they're trying too hard or this is not working. It just hit the ground running, and that's incredible. It stays true to the original in such a way where I feel like the MCU can learn a lot from this. You know, there's not a lot of changes here and there. It has all the source material right there in front of them, and they just stuck to that. Now, with the changes that the MCU is currently making and trying to utilize, it's not working. If you can just go back to the source material, just go to, you have how many issues of books, legendary issues. You don't need to have something that, feels as cohesive as the Infinity Saga was. Just go and have single storytelling. You can just do a comic book, have one movie that focuses just on one particular graphic novel and just tell that story. That's how you get back to giving audiences what they want. Nothing needs to be connected. This whole idea of everything needs to be connected is insane. And that's why everything since the Multiverse Saga has just failed. Tell original stories. Take something right out of the comic book pages and put it like that on screen. There's no way you can fail. There's no way you can fail. Honestly, the strength of X-Men has always been bringing a group of people together that share something, in terms of not being accepted by society in the way you would have wanted to be accepted. And it's branching out into different storylines and different origin stories and bringing everybody together that makes it feel so seamless. There's a lot of plot lines and different storylines that need to link. And the way they've done it in this season of '97 has been nothing short of amazing. And personally, my favorite character has to be Magneto, guys. I've always loved Wolverine. I know Wolverine has a massive fan base. I'm not going to deny that. But this show just, when I look at Magneto, he's such an intriguing character. He has so many different layers to him. He's the villain. On the other hand, he can also be the hero. He can, there's so many layers to this character. And I feel like that's why the show worked so well. They captured different aspects of the character in such a way that I haven't seen it before. Look, I know Magneto has always been depicted a certain way, but they've shown a side to Magneto this season that he has just become my favorite character, guys. I'm not saying that the other characters are lesser, but he's just such an interesting character. I've always said this, guys. If the villain of whatever you are doing is a very strong character, the rest of whatever needs to follow can just be built around the villain, and you will have something incredible. I'm going to use The Dark Knight as a reference. Everybody's still talking about Heath Ledger's performance. His performance was monumental. It overshadowed everybody in that movie. But then you added all the different layers. Christian Bale, and Two-Face in the mix, Harvey Dent, all that came together to give us something incredible that we haven't seen before. And I feel like this works in a similar way. It's not quite exactly how that was structured, but the villain just makes everything better, guys. I mean, that's why everybody loves Vegeta more than Goku. I like Goku, but I'm a massive fan of Vegeta. It's just because those characters, they come from such a place where you understand their motivations. They go through all these changes, and the narrative is always incredible to watch. And that's why I'm gonna always say this: if the villain is great, the rest of the stuff just follows. And this is another example. Another aspect that 97 does very well is the fact that it gives us the version of Cyclops that we haven't seen in the movies. The movies haven't done Cyclops any justice at all. This is the strong leader, the strong charismatic character that needs to make that transition over into the big screen. And if it's not done right, then what are you doing? That was such a weak version of Scott Summers that we got in the movies. And Jean Grey finds herself in a predicament again. I mean, how many times should I talk about Jean Grey? And Jean Grey is such a great character. Her relationship with Scott adds another anchor to the show. That whole story and plot line was weaved in perfectly. You had a Storm, had a bit of a dilemma. Rogue is trying to find herself again. She has a difficult choice to make. Gambit is Gambit, man. Who doesn't love Gambit? I'm so happy that season 2 and season 3 has already been greenlit. Now, how it will play out is a mystery because of the exclusion of Beau DeMayo. And whether you like to say it or not, guys, with his firing, it has been a loss for the show. And he definitely understood the material. He knew what he had to do to make this thing work. So I'm a little bit skeptical, but I mean, if 95% of the creators that did season 1 are still on board, then there's no way that it cannot work. So I am a little bit worried about that, but I just have a feeling that the show is in good hands. So we can expect great things from season 2 and season 3. The best episode of season 1, guys, has to be Remember It. Remember It is a perfect episode. It's a remarkable achievement in television, not just for animation, for TV in general. That is the one episode that is still stuck with me. It is the one that stands out for me, and it reminded me of how great television used to be. You know, when I used to watch shows back in the 80s, especially animated shows, it had weight, it had emotional depth, it had action, it had a brilliant storyline running throughout the entire episode. It was just perfect. You know, when you watch something, you know, like you're watching greatness. I sat back after watching that episode, I was like, wow. This is on another level. And if I look at that episode and what happened at the end of that episode, I don't want to spoil anything for you guys if you haven't watched it yet. It reminded me of that Game of Thrones episode, The Reigns of Castamere. It just had that same devastating effect. And that's down to the brilliance of how this show has been crafted. This is a modern masterpiece, and we're talking about something that links back to something that came out back in the 90s. This is incredible, guys. I don't know, like when Marvel does a transition and finally give us live action X-Men, you do not need another blueprint. Everything that you need to know, everything the way it's supposed to look, you don't need anything else. I don't care if you want to modernize it or keep it vintage. I mean, if you can take back Fantastic Four and have a vintage storyline, you might as well just do the same for X-Men. You have all the material that you need, guys. You have the perfect blueprint. Just go back to that. Take it back to basics and then just do it justice. You'll be back on track. There'll be no doubts whatsoever. Kevin Feige needs to look at this and be like, this, voila. I have everything I need right here. Let me just put this on the big screen in a similar way. End of story, guys. You don't need anything else. There's nothing you need to do differently. That's all you need to make this thing work. And the voice acting in this show is top notch, guys. Top notch. I know it's not the way it was back in the 90s, because that would just be insane. People grow older. People are not as young as they used to be. So going in expecting something similar, that's just insane. So the voice acting here absolutely blew me away. And there's so much good in this show. There's so much stuff I can gush about. I think I'm going to be talking about this show for up until season 2 comes out, which there's no confirmed release date for that yet, but I'm just in awe at how great this TV show is. I'm definitely just gonna go back and watch it again. I think if I watch it now, it will be the 4th time that I've watched it. I can just sit back and binge the whole thing. That's what I'm doing with my time, guys. I'm watching X-Men 97 back to back, non-stop, on repeat. And it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. I thought Shogun was the best thing to come out this year, until this came to an end. And I'm convinced that this is the best TV show of the year. I'll fight anybody on that. The show is fantastic. It's a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece of television. The greatest thing I watched this year has to be X-Men 97. Please let me know down below in the comment section, what do you guys think about X-Men 97? This is incredible, guys. As an X-Men fan, to be able to get this in the year 2024 is just incredible. And this is why I love entertainment. Getting something like this just makes me smile with my heart again. And that's how good this is. Please let me know down below in the comment section, guys. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. I talked about X-Men 97 non-stop, and I feel like I can sit here and continue. That's how good this has been, guys. I'll catch you on the next one. And once again, thank you for watching.